So, guys, when many of us thought that the NDC had escaped the turbulence surrounding opposition politics in Nigeria, another layer of political drama is quietly beginning to unfold. Now, not from the direction many of us are expecting, but from an entirely different angle that could reshape conversations ahead of the 2027 election. So, let me bring you up to speed with all you need to know about the ADA lawsuit. Yes, you heard me, All Democratic Alliance lawsuit, and how exactly does this affect the NDC? But before we get into the legal drama, before we get into the court dismissal and why NDC is now being dragged into conversations it was not originally part of, let's understand the backstory. So, the NDC, which is the Nigeria Democratic Congress, got registered by INEC on February 5th, 2026, but not through normal application process. So, the Federal High Court in Lokoja issued an order forcing INEC to register the party after issues with their logo and name. INEC did comply with this judgment, and they even noted court order on their executive details. So, fast forward to early May 2026. Peter Obi, Rabi Kwankwaso, and other officials defected to the NDC, and the party is now zoning its presidential ticket to the south. So the party is now positioned as a serious platform to challenge the ruling party, APC. So how did ADA get into this conversation? The All Democratic Alliance was one of the serious contenders in INEC's 2025 exercise when they were trying to register political parties. So out of 170 associations that applied, INEC pre-qualified 14 in September 2025, and ADA was on that list. They paid their fees, they uploaded documents, and were seen as one of the groups that had the real shot during that time. But when the final registration came out, ADA did not make it to the list. Now, INEC only registered two political parties through the standard process, which was the Democratic Leadership Alliance and the NDC. And NDC was registered via court order. So, this is the beginning of the conversation. ADA felt shortchanged, and in January 2027, even before NDC got registered, ADA promoters, led by Dr. Ador, alongside two of their officials, filed a suit against INEC only. So you might have to hold that thought. Their demand was simple: for INEC to register ADA as an official party and declare them deemed registered under the Electoral Act, because INEC allegedly did not follow the timelines of procedure properly. So fast forward to May 13, 2026. The Federal High Court in Abuja, presided by Justice Emeka Nwite, dismissed the entire suit. The judge ruled that it was incompetent and lacked merit for two main reasons. One of it was wrong procedure, that they use what they called originating summons, which they say are for cases with no major dispute of facts and only affidavit evidence. But in this case, their case was serious, it was had conflicting facts, and they needed full trial with oral evidence. So the second one was that the plaintiff did not provide enough credible evidence. The plaintiff, which is them, did not provide enough evidence to back up their claims about discrepancies in the names of officials or non-compliance. So because of that, the case was thrown out. So the suit was mainly about ADA fighting for its own registration. This suit was filed months even before NDC existed as a registered party. However, once NDC was registered in February 2026, and they started attracting, names and political figures, the ADA, led by Dr. Ador, went public as early as April 2026 and began calling the NDC registration a national fraud and irregular, because according to him, it came via court order instead of the standard INEC verification process. He said he had warned Peter Obi and Kwekwenso not to join, and that the opposition was personal, not official, or not on behalf of ADA. He vowed that he was going to challenge NDC's registration in court, possibly by appealing the local judge judgment and taking it way up to the Supreme Court. So this is the interesting part. A party that failed its own registration is not looking for how to get itself registered, but just like a drowning man looking for whom to pull down, Dr. Addo is ready to take the battle to the Supreme Court. So that is where the real story is. ADA couldn't get registered through the process, So ADS shifted to attacking how NDC succeeded. The court has spoken on ADA's suit. Ador says it's reviewing and will appeal. But for now, the waves of NDC keep rolling strong. It is a truth at a time. Take care and have a nice day.